And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the final series here of the night. It's been a long broadcast, a lot of matches, 7 best of 3s. That's a lot of best of 3s, Hoppy, and we're only halfway through the group. We're going to be back tomorrow with the remainder of Group A to find out who makes it out. Cyril, MaxPax, Showtime, Maru, Gumiho. Who makes it out of Group A? We'll be finding out tomorrow. For now, though, we have a PvP between these two dashing, lovely young players. Looking so handsome on the cameras. MaxPax, calm down, pal. Oh, crazy. As we are getting into this PvP, game 1 is going to be a Dragon Scales. You can have a look at the vetoes as well on the screen. The larger maps are gone. Get out of here, Gresvan, Ancient Cistern, and Altitude. They are all not a part of this. We do have Neo-Humanity towards the end, but I expect a more aggressive matchup overall. And here we go, spawning. We're loading into game 1. Oh, never mind. Never mind, as it looks like we did have a little bit of an issue. But we will be remaking. We'll be getting back into this. And this isn't our first PvP of the night. If you were here earlier in the broadcast, we were casting Showtime versus MaxPax. And because of the nature of their openers, every single game went into Phoenix Wars, which I was pleasantly surprised by. Phoenix v Phoenix, you don't get to see it too often. It's more of a rarity in current meta. And for it to lead to Phoenix v Phoenix every single game was, something that I haven't seen in years. Phoenix v Phoenix, it used to be very meta. A couple of years ago, I want to say like 2020 era of StarCraft, we saw it more prevalently, even before that, of course. So it was really interesting to see that come to fruition. I don't expect that to happen here, especially because our Canadian Protoss is prone to very different openers, even on ramp maps, and we can get into that as we load in. This time, we have corrected the mistake earlier on the extension mods.
So StarCraft just left me out of the lobby?
As we are going to be loading on in. Thankfully, we do have a clean feed. Are you in the game?
No, StarCraft didn't load me in.
Okay. Again, we do have a clean feed. Do you want me to stream my Discord, or are you gonna stream for the clean feed?
I'm gonna have clean feed on.
Okay, gonna have clean feed. Okay, as I guess I'm gonna have to wait for you to catch up. Could you stream to me so I know where you are? As we are loading into Dragon Scales for game number 1, we will fix these issues for our next game. I'm sure Kura will get back into lobby. Kura, I advise you to restart your client just in case you bugged out. Oh god, there's a big delay on the stream. God damn it. As we are getting on into this. And yeah, in the top left-hand corner, we do have from Team Basilisk Trigger from Canada. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner from Denmark, it is MaxPax. And the reason why I was talking about how Trigger, he opens up very differently, you can already see... we'll be seeing the beginnings of that momentarily as well. As, hold on, I'm going to try and sync up with Kuro. Okay, we're good. As we do see Trigger going for the pylon on the high ground. So this is something very unique to Trigger. Even on maps with ramps coming into the natural, Trigger does not go for gate expands. He doesn't go for it. Does go for these 2 gate openers instead. So yeah, it's really interesting to see Trigger just work against the meta, and he's gonna force a big reaction out of MaxPax as a result. As MaxPax is going for a gate expand, as to be expected. On a map like this, it is considered to be very safe to go for these economic openers. So yeah, it is going to have to try to adapt here to his opponent instead. And this does mean that we're not going to see Phoenix versus Phoenix. It's not really going to be possible here with how these two players are matching up, with how their builds are matching up. So a very different kind of PvP, which I appreciate. But yeah, outside of that, we do have just a big delay on the natural base of MaxPax. Zealot is being forced out, as well as Trigger is preparing back at home. Now, this could be the beginnings of a one-base all-in from Trigger. He could attempt to do so against his opponent. But it is going to be difficult to do so here. MaxPax, he is so well versed in defending against all-ins. The likelihood of that happening is going to be a little bit lower. For the time being, we do see the Zealot was forced out. Nexus is being thrown down. A Stargate follow-up here from MaxPax. Likewise, Trigger also going for a Stargate of his own. Uh-oh. I said earlier that it shouldn't go into Phoenixes, but it shouldn't lead into Phoenix Wars, and I stand by that, but I'm a little bit concerned. As Adepts are moving out. Looking to bypass the army here of Trigger and sneak out across the map. And yeah, with that, we do see Trigger just getting ready back at home. An Oracle is on the way from MaxPax. I'm sure Trigger is looking to get into, yeah, Phoenixes are on the way, but MaxPax is unaware. He's unaware of those Phoenixes. He's unaware of what's going to be coming. And as a result, he could be caught off guard as now MaxPax is getting into his own Phoenix. He's getting into his own Phoenix production as well. We wanted to get away from this, Papi. We wanted to get away. Not like this. As they are being banked up back at home, are being confirmed, of course, by MaxPax as well. And we'll see if we double down and go into another Stargate. For the time being, Trigger is going for a Twilight Council, so looks like he's not doubling down. He's just only making a handful of Phoenixes for the time being. Going to be shutting down the initial Stalkers. Not a bad trade overall. As Trigger is getting into his Nexus, into his two-base economy. Oracle comes in from behind, is looking for some damage, and does get a couple of probes. Oh my god, the Zealot even getting some work in as well. 4 probes go down. Oh, but the Oracle is chased down. So a bit of a give and take. MaxPax is able to maintain his economic lead, and is sharking around with those Phoenixes, looking to try to find those Phoenixes of Trigger. We'll see if he can. For now, though, Blink is on the way, and hopefully MaxPax doesn't overinvest in these Phoenixes. It looks like he's only making a handful. Only a handful of Phoenixes, or is going to be catching the Phoenixes of Trigger as well. Big loss. And now the map control is well in the hands of MaxPax. So MaxPax, he has the map control, he has the economic lead. But Trigger will have a more, I don't know if I want to say mobile, but yeah, pretty flexible army with those Blink Stalkers. Can he build up enough of them? MaxPax is going to be going for a Phoenix Immortal-based composition. Whereas Trigger going pure Blink Stalker. Gonna try to keep up. Oh god, we're losing the signal! No! Oh, there you go. Thank god, we almost lost MaxPax's camera. Did you see that? The signal was looking a little bit shaky, but it's okay. We can have a look at MaxPax's reactions. It's all good. It's all good. As the Phoenixes are again just sharking around, going to be able to pick off a couple of these probes, but nothing too major. As Immortal production is continuing, and MaxPax is looking to refine his army here, going into a Forge, into a Twilight Council. I imagine working towards his own Blink, or he could even try to skip Blink and go into Charge. It is possible. Yeah, as the Phoenixes are still looking for damage, and we can see that MaxPax is still gaining value as well, getting another Stalker. And this entire time, Trigger has been on the back foot. See MaxPax getting ready to take his own third. Finally, some of these Phoenixes are going to be going down. Finally, Trigger gets something done. But behind this, MaxPax, he is skipping Blink. He's going straight for Charge, +1 at Templar Archives. So Charge or Archon is going to be the composition of choice. And it can trade pretty efficiently against Blink Stalkers. The Zealots, they help buffer and support the Immortal-based army. And Immortals, they just annihilate Stalkers. But we'll see if that's what we get. As we can see, Trigger reinforcing across the map, getting ready for a big push towards the third. We have 3 Immortals to defend. 3 Immortals, Sentry with some energy, but we blink on forward. We dive with the Immortal. First one is going to go down. We can see the Phoenix is doing a great job of supporting. Charge isn't done. Uh-oh. Charge not quite done, and MaxPax is being punished for it. Stalkers trading well overall. Do see Trigger bleeding out a little bit. But is being forced back. MaxPax, he holds on to his third. And likewise, Trigger, he's still just striking around, looking for a way in. Gets a couple of Zealots here and there. He won't be able to... He shouldn't be able to get the base. Oh, he backs up for the time being. He's working towards his own charge. Immortal production continuing here for MaxPax. His army is still looking pretty sparse. Pretty scarce, even. As we do see a Zealot counterattack across the map. Warping into the main. Not too many Zealots, to be fair. But this is forcing a recall out of Trigger. Everything comes back home. Prism does get shut down. But this does allow MaxPax to get his third base back up and running. He's been struggling so much to actually establish it. And now he's the one who's got some catching up to do. Meanwhile, +1 is on the horizon. About to kick in. MaxPax still, I would say, has a pretty terrifying army composition overall. Especially if he's able to build up that Immortal count. But for now, Trigger flexing his flexibility, or flexing his maneuverability with those Stalkers. Getting a couple of Zealots here and there. Picking off whatever he can. And he's even looking, to get a Phoenix. The last Phoenix of the game. He's going to respect the Immortals for now. And I'm pretty sure he has to until he gets own Zealots. He can go for a more head-to-head fight. For now, though, he's just skirmishing. Whenever he can. Prism is slipping into the main base. The main army of MaxPax pushing through the center. But Trigger's waiting for him. He is waiting. A big warping of Zealots here in the main. I say big. Two Zealots get warped into the main. Not enough to really threaten Trigger. As MaxPax is looking for another way in. Yeah, alas, not able to really get too much done at all. And yeah, with that Trigger, he's going to be able to establish himself. He's got his own charge, got his own Zealots and Archons. And he's looking to chase down MaxPax. Gets a High Templar. Both players are getting their 4th bases. And it's still going to be really hard to call who has the advantage here. A lot of it will come down to the angle of the fight, the angle of the attack. If the Immortals can come into play or if not. And here we go. Trigger is pushing forward. Has an insane army. So big, so large. Is going to actually split up his forces though. Looks like he's trying to keep up with the harassment here of MaxPax. Should be able to defend his 4th. And yeah, when it comes to the center, Trigger, he has a bit of a better concave. MaxPax is going to respect that. He's going to back off. Ideal wants to fight with his shield batteries with his overcharge. And here we go. The armies are about to clash. The Zealots, they get annihilated instantly. And now the Archons of MaxPax are looking very exposed. Yeah, they're going to be hunted down one after the other. Trigger snowballing a little bit out of control, but we do have the overcharge. Overcharge just barely keeping those Immortals alive. Oh my god, they refuse to die. The Immortals stand strong, and MaxPax he's holding. But you can see that his fourth base is looking very exposed. And Trigger, he gets into that mineral line. Yeah, 8, 9, oh my god, 11 probes go down. Across the map, there is a bit of a Zealot run by also at the fourth base of Trigger. See Trigger being maybe a little bit wasteful. He's going to lose every one of his Archons. Trigger overextending a little bit. The supplies are going to swing in favor of MaxPax. Every Archon goes down. But Trigger does take a worker lead. Not the largest one, though. Again, I do think he just stuck around a little bit too long. Lost his advantage. And now MaxPax has a massive army. Still kept those Immortals alive. Kept some of those Archons as well. And we'll see if MaxPax can make something happen here. As he's pushing on forward, just leveraging his advantage. Doesn't want to allow this to slip through his fingers. As he's moving on out. Trigger, he's just building up his shield batteries, getting his cannons. Trying to muster up a defense. And yeah, here we go. We do have the Archons pushing on forward, but there's just too much Protoss. There's too much red Protoss here from MaxPax. As again, we did see Trigger just lose too many Archons earlier. And Trigger is going to lose too much here. Everything is going down. And despite how back and forth this game has been... Oh my god. GG. MaxPax popping off. Taking game number 1. Looking very happy. Looking like a very happy chappy as we are heading over to the land of Europa. Game 2 is going to be taking place on the European server. Let's go. So for those wondering, for Canada versus EU, we are going to be rotating back and forth. Game 1 on NA, Game 2 on EU, and Game 3 back on NA. Here we go. And yeah, that was a pretty wild game. Very chaotic and very back and forth, right? There was like Phoenix versus Phoenix. There was, of course, initially MaxPax getting a bit of a worker lead with his natural base. He was having a really hard time holding on to his third. And things are looking really good for Trigger. Honestly, things are looking very good. But I do think that he was a little bit too wasteful when it came to his attack at the fourth. He lost 4 Archons after he did the economic damage. He just didn't have to stick around the way that he did, or as long as he did. And it did become too much. And here we go. Now we're getting ready for our next game. On Royal Blood. Of course, MaxPax is coming in as the favorite player, but that was pretty close. That was pretty close between our players. Do love to see it. And this time, we're all getting into the lobby. It's beautiful. Kura, have you ever seen MaxPax is happy? It's beautiful. See, I stun catching up. MaxPax, he's looking more and more handsome every time he's on. You're not wrong, Pap. You're not wrong. Beautiful. As here we go. You can hear the beeps. We're getting ready to dive into game number 2. Of course, MaxPax does have a lead in this series. Can end it all here and now. Trigger gonna try to fight back. And again, he didn't look bad in game 1. Did not look bad at all. I want to believe he can force the ace match. Who needs sleep? Nah, we don't need sleep. It's fine. We got plenty of sleep yesterday. as we are diving on in. And here we go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Royal Blood, we have the Canadian Protoss player representing Team Basilisk, currently down in the series, but not out, not by any means. It is Trigger. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Danish Protoss player representing Storm Gaming. One game away from taking the entire series. It is MaxPax. MaxPax, he's been working out. You know what? I'm glad someone pointed it out. I thought I was seeing things, but I'm pretty sure MaxPax, his jawline is a little bit more defined. It does look like he has been, yeah, you know, whether he's been hitting the gym or maybe dieting a little bit. He's looking good. It's looking good. Looking better. Not saying he was looking bad before, but you know. Good stuff. Always appreciate it when some of the players decide to focus on self-improvement. We've seen that with Showtime. We've seen that with players like Diego Special, famously. The biggest kind of transformation, of course, has been Special. Petit Drogo. And maybe MaxPax. Maybe he's next. Maybe. I look forward to it. Again, supporting as best we can. As once again, Trigger is going for the 2-gate opener on the high ground. MaxPax going for the gate expand on Royal Blood. We spoke about this at the start of Game 1. Even on maps with ramps, Trigger doesn't go for the gate expand. He is prone to it. He is just avoiding it. Even on maps like Altitude, on Babylon, he wants none of it. So yeah, just Trigger has a really unique outlook here in the PvP matchup. Is going to force a reaction. MaxPax going for a Stargate first before the Nexus. So he's going to be respecting his opponent quite a bit. And what's scary about this is that Trigger, he could go for a 2-gate opener into an expansion, or he could go for a 1-base all-in. It is possible. As for now, Trigger is getting ready for that expansion. Going to be moving out with his first 2 Stalkers. Just solidifying his position here. And back at home, MaxPax with that Stargate opener is headed towards, I imagine, Oracle play. There we go. First Oracle is in production. Meanwhile, we can see Trigger just scouring the map, looking for any kind of hidden proxies. Making sure he doesn't get bamboozled by his opponents. Ooh, I say looking for proxies. What I should have said is setting up a proxy location himself. Okay. Do have that pylon on the way back at home. Trigger, so far, no signs of tech, which is a little bit suspect. MaxPax, he already went for his Stargate. He's already got a Twilight Council on the way. Just taking up even further. The first Oracle is making its way across the map. We do have some Stalkers in position. And it's going to be a 2-base all-in. Let's go. Oracle does get a revelation off. Doesn't see too much at all. 4 gateways in a total. No blink. No charge. No tech of any kind. Just pure, vanilla, unadulterated Stalkers coming out from Trigger. Oh boy. Look away. Look away. And, yeah, we'll see if MaxPax is able to prepare himself. I'm concerned. Oh, God, is he? Okay, he's just sending out a probe. I was like, there's no way he takes a 3rd base now. Thankfully, he's now working on his own production. Oh, Dark Shrine on the way. That's going to be a checkmate move. If MaxPax is able to survive long enough to warp in some DTs, that's going to be game. Trigger has nothing. Trigger has no Robo, no Stargate, no Forge, no access to detection whatsoever. But before that happens, the Dark Shrine, it's only halfway done, and Trigger has arrived. Shield battery goes down. Forget about the overcharge. It's not going to be impossible. It's not going to be a thing. As Trigger's looking to bust into the natural base again. This is a 2-base all-in. Really a 1-base all-in, as there is nothing here at the natural base. No probes whatsoever. It all ends here and now. Either Trigger breaks MaxPax or he becomes broken. And here we go. The pylon goes down. Gateways are being depowered. Trigger is pushing his way up into the main base. The Dark Shrine is about to finish. And we can afford to lose workers. Losing 8, 9, 12 probes, it's no big deal. Sentry has arrived. We go for the force field. MaxPax, he's buying time. And the first Dark Templar is on the way. It's on the way across the... He's crazy. Oh my god. A very bold move. Dark Templar is being warped in. One defensively. The pylon! Oh, it does depower everything, but the DT finishes up just in time. Likewise, DT is getting across the map, but we have so many Stalkers here. Even though there's one Dark Templar to defend, Trigger, he's getting so much done. He just has to ignore the Dark Templar, just has to avoid it. Guide as best he can. Meanwhile, there are 2 Robos on the way. One proxied, one at home. And Trigger, he can still pull this off. Maybe. It's so close. So many probes are going down. Oof. Likewise, a lot of workers going down for Trigger as well. Both players are hurting, but Trigger, he's running out of momentum. He's running out of Stalkers. And the Robo does get killed. We do have another backup Robo across the map, but now there's no more economy. There is no economy. Trigger, he's in a devastating position right now. Forcing his way up the ramp once again. He still has a lot of Stalkers. Looking at the units type here, we have 9 Stalkers for Trigger. But now we have 2 DTs. Now we have 2 Dark Templar. Trigger is losing too much. Yeah, he's losing all of his Stalkers. 25 probes go down. He has 0 economy. Again, the Dark Templar was the checkmate move that MaxPax needed. It took too long to get into detection, to get into an Observer. An Observer has arrived, but it's too little too late. He can't clean this up. GG gets called, and MaxPax will take the series 2-0, taking down Trigger. GG. Oh my god. An intense PvP there in game number 2. But Dark Templar are a great way to shut down one base all-ins. As we saw, without any detection, DTs, they reign supreme. And things got really close. Things got really chaotic. Trigger, he was able to get a lot of economic damage done with his Stalkers, but he was on a timer. He was on a timer. Eventually, the DTs would kill everything, and they did. They did kill every probe across the map, and they killed every Stalker as well. The Observer was just too late. And congratulations to MaxPax. With that, we can have a look at the results here tonight. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the standings, as we can see them on the screen before us. Oh boy, a lot of matches have concluded. Maru having a rough start. He did fall to Serral and MaxPax, but he brought himself back against Gumiho. Likewise, Showtime having a back and forth, taking down MaxPax, but dropping a series to Serral. Really, who's on top of his game? Who is on top of the group? That is Serral. Serral hasn't lost a single series, and we can have a look at tomorrow's matchups. The remainder of Group A. Maru versus Trigger, MaxPax versus Serral, Gumiho versus Showtime, Serral versus Trigger, Maru versus Showtime, Serral versus Gumiho, Trigger versus Showtime, and MaxPax versus Gumiho to end the night. I just realized tomorrow, 8 best of 3s. It's gonna be even longer, Poppy. It's gonna be even longer. 8 best of 3s as opposed to the 7 that we had tonight. So that much more StarCraft available to you. So if you want to find out the conclusion of Group A, then make sure you're here tomorrow night for more Masters Coliseum 6. The Masters Coliseum, amazing StarCraft. As a reminder, we have StarCraft every day. Every single day for 2 weeks is Masters Coliseum. Not just Masters Coliseum, but we're also going to be casting KSL, the ESL Open Cups, Tenacious Turtle Tussle. So many events here on the CranKy Ducklings. And if you enjoyed the broadcast, if you want some more, then follow us. Follow us on Twitch, on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, !socials in the chat to get links to all of our social media, to your preferred social media as well, so you can be updated. And yeah, hope everyone enjoyed themselves. It is very late here. It's almost 2 a.m. in the morning. I would like some food actually, and then some veg. Food would be nice though. Aye. So yeah, you can follow us if you're interested. You can support us on Patreon. You can subscribe on Twitch, or you can just follow us on Twitch. We appreciate it. We appreciate the support. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in. A shout out to Pig for giving us a big raid earlier. We appreciate it. And if you want some more StarCraft action, our next broadcast is in less than 24 hours. Checking the calendar, it is just going to be the next day of the Masters Coliseum. Usually we cast on Wednesdays GSL. Usually we have a GSL cast and we have a Home Story Cup cast, but we are putting those replay casts on hold because these Masters Coliseum broadcasts are so long and they're so big, they're so juicy. They're a lot. They're a lot to handle. So we're going to be focusing our attention on these events here on these broadcasts, and we're going to be delaying GSL and delaying the Home Story Cup casts until we're done with Masters Coliseum. That's our current plan. So yeah, with that, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support. Exclamation mark light in the chat if you want to follow myself. I do stream whenever I can, and I might stream tomorrow depending on how tired I am. It will depend on how much sleep we get and how we feel. But yeah, I try to stream whenever I can. Otherwise, thank you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support. We're going to be heading off for the night. A shout out to Kuro. Kuro is, of course, handling the production for this tournament. And we definitely had some bumps in the road. It was a shaky start with, the clean feed not being ideal and being left out of lobbies. But overall, thank you so much to Kuro. Was able to have a smooth stream overall. And we'll see you guys tomorrow for the rest of Group A. Until then, bye. Hasta luego.